Welcome back to Kenya. My family and I met up in this magical land for a few weeks of family vacation. Our first 10 days we went on a walking safari on Crescent Island, visited a local tea farm, and did a 3-day safari in the Masai Mara. On our last day, as we returned to Nairobi, we stopped by the Giraffe Center to feed some giraffes and visited Kazuri Beads to buy some last-minute souvenirs. And here's how it went.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Nairobi. After going to the tea farm, we actually went out to the Masai Mara and did a 3-day safari, and we saw amazing animals. We got a few leopard sightings, amazing lions, amazing giraffes, so much beautiful wildlife, an amazing luxury camp with Perini. And that'll be like a completely separate video where I'll show you that whole excursion, but we're back in the outskirts of Nairobi here, and we've come to the Giraffe Center, which is a conservation area just outside of Nairobi where they've rehabilitated a few Rothschild giraffes at the center here, and they have a breeding program, and you can enter, and there's some nature trails. It's a small conservancy here, and you can feed the giraffes and get an up-close, intimate experience with some of the giraffes here. So let's head into the Giraffe Center. We've just paid a 1,500 shilling entrance fee, which is about $12, and they've given us this little bowl of giraffe feed, and we've come up to these elevated platforms here where you can feed the giraffes. Very fun being up on this platform. You're just elevated enough so that the giraffes can crane their neck over here, and we have all these little pellets. They have this long black tongue, and they just grab it right out of your hand. Very fun and very beautiful. You have this nice little conservation area here. A couple more giraffes off in the distance. You can see Nairobi way off there. So yeah, very beautiful experience feeding the giraffes here. So that was the Giraffe Center. Again, there's not too much to do here. You just kind of come up to this platform, but you get such a close-up view of these ginormous animals, and you can see a little bit of the Giraffe Manor through the woods there, which is a beautiful place to stay, part of the safari collection. And again, just being up here, you're elevated. The giraffes are like right in your face, and they'll just lick those pellets right out of your fingers, and you'll get all slobbery, but it's really fun to see them up so close. So anyways, there's a little cafe and some other things that you can do in the Giraffe Center here, but the main attraction is definitely just feeding them, getting a view of some of the giraffes. I think there's about 11 giraffes, some warthogs on the property here. But we are out in the Canon area, and one last thing we want to do before dropping off the family at the airport is there's a traditional Kenyan craft place called Kazuri Beads. So we're going to go there and see how they make some of the beads, some ceramics, some pottery, and it's just probably about 5 or 10 minutes from the Giraffe Center here in Canon. So let's head there and check out some of the Kenyan crafts. we have just come about 10-15 minutes away from the Giraffe Center here in Karen, and we've come to Kazuri Beads, which is where they make the beads and they'll string them into different types of jewelry. And so it's a cool little African craft shop to check out, and again, you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes of some of the African artwork here. So let's head in. So right behind me here, we had a guide take us around the room here, and we'll see all of the women that are working from the clay, just the raw clay, turning that into a bead, and then it gets dried for a day, and then they paint it with these ceramics, and then eventually they string them into jewelry. So pretty cool to see the whole process here, and there's a little bit more of the factory tour and then a shop that we'll check out. That was completely unexpected. Right at the end of the tour, all of the ladies just got up and they started dancing, and they were banging on some drums and just all these different like little instruments and dropping a beat, and then they started dancing around, grabbing us, and they were singing, and really fun experience, and just love just the African singing and culture. And then all of the women here are just working so hard on these beads, and it's really cool to see. So anyways, that's about it for the factory tour. Now we're gonna head over to the little shop. I'll show you some of the things that you can buy here at the Kazuri Beads place that's right next to the factory. So let's go check it out. That was the inside of the Kazuri Beads shop, which again is right on the same facility here, right next to the factory, where you can watch the women making the beads from clay into these beautiful, colorful, detailed ceramics that make all sorts of jewelry and keychains, and there's other different types of pottery there. So really cool place to do some shopping and to see a little bit behind the scenes of how some of these African handicrafts are made. So anyways, that's about it for our short little day trip here to Karen. We're gonna do a little bit of shopping. Then for about 3 of our family members are heading back to the US, so we're gonna send them back to the airport, and that concludes our 10-day family vacation here in Kajabi and Nairobi. And very cool to experience, again, the walking safari at Crescent Island, going to the tea farm, seeing one of Kenya's greatest exports, then coming out here to Karen to see the giraffes and being able to feed them a little bit, and then coming out to the craft shop here at the Kazuri Beads. And then again, in between all of that, we went on safari to Masai Mara, and there's so much really cool wildlife and nature experiences that you can have here in Kenya, but then a lot of experiencing a lot of the local culture. Again, there's so many more things you can do, and this was a much more disjointed video where we were jumping around doing a bunch of different mini day trips, which is great to do here in Kenya. So anyways, that wraps up our family vacation here in Kenya. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it gives you some ideas of some things that you can do in and around Nairobi, Kajabi area, and I'll see you guys next time on the next African adventure.